We are on location of the first annual Amiah Hargrove Youth Basketball Camp, and with us is Amiah herself. And this has been a lot of fun today, Amiah, and you've had a fantastic turnout. You got to be thrilled.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It was better than I could have expected for year one, and just the community support was huge, which I knew that was going to happen just based on the following that I've had just this past season. So it's just really exciting.
What made you decide to put this youth basketball camp together? Was it because you went to camps yourself growing up, or what?
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of a couple things. I always loved going to camps as a kid, and I think now just knowing the community support I have, I just wanted to be able to give back in some way to the kids because they follow me, and every time I come home, they're always excited to see me, and that means a lot to me. So just being able to do something to give back to them was really cool.
Well, my own granddaughter from Missouri was here today at your camp, and she had a great time at the camp. Said she'd love to come back, maybe bring some friends with her. I don't know. But you had both a girls' camp and a boys' camp today. And talk a little bit about the age groups and some of the things that you went through today on the camp.
Yeah, so our girls' group was kindergarten through 8th grade. So we kind of split them up a little bit. Did some just the basic fundamental things. That way, especially for year one, that everyone could just kind of get in and get the basics down. Our boys, we did kindergarten through 5th grade and kind of kept them a little more fundamental as well. But I think it was just really important. I wanted to keep it a youth camp just so I could really just give back to the kids that, support me the most. And, they're always the most into it. But yeah, like I said, we went through a lot of the basics, just, rip layups and elbow shooting, went through beef, passing and catching, layups, things like that. Just the things that I think help build a great foundation for, when they continue on, because at the end of the day, they're entering maybe junior high, and sometimes they miss out on those core skills. So I'm just trying to help them, be better in the long run.
I heard you say whenever you were going through some of the passing drills that you said that one of the things that your coaching staff at Nebraska emphasizes to you is that you want to be the best passing team you can, maybe the best passing team in America, and you kind of emphasize that today to the kids.
Yeah, Coach Williams always emphasizes that in practice, and I think that's a huge thing. Great passers make great shooters, and I truly believe that. So just like I said, instilling those basic fundamentals in those kids, I think is just going to help them farther in the long run.
One of the things I noticed today at the camp was that you started the camp with an opening prayer. And, I've been involved in a lot of basketball camps, both as a participant, a coach, as well as from the media standpoint. I've never seen a basketball camp start out with prayer, but you emphasize to everyone that faith is an important part of your life.
Yeah, it is. And, my faith is something that keeps me grounded through, just the ups and downs of life and college basketball itself, just through this first year. Having my faith to rely on has gotten me through a lot to this point, and I know it's just going to continue to carry me farther. So just instilling that in those kids and maybe even planting a seed, if they had any questions about their faith or how it relates to basketball or even my experiences, I was more than happy to share that with them. So anytime I can try to plant a seed, I'm going to, and just try to spread the gospel.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You had an army of people help you today. A lot of volunteers, a lot of family members, and people that helped make this happen, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. My whole family was here helping, whether it was registration or help running a station. My dad tried to get on the mic a few times, had to kind of keep him away from that. But yeah, I have a whole army behind me, and I couldn't have done it without them, and they definitely made it easier. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun to be together and get to do something like this with them.
I think Anthony might have been having more fun than the kids.
Yes, definitely. I think he was, especially in the boys' session when he got to kind of run some of the defensive drills. Yeah, he loved that, especially being defense in football. Like, that was right in his element. So yeah, he loved that.
Your grandpa, John, was pointing out to me that there was something in the neighborhood of maybe 15, 16 different communities or schools represented today, kids that came from all over the place, including, like I said, across the river in Missouri.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. It just speaks to the involvement of this community and even the surrounding communities, and their support is, it's not unnoticed, and it means so much to me. So just being able to give back and, to have people travel that far just to come do this camp was huge, and it was really cool.
Yeah. The last time you and I visited, we were talking a little bit about how it was a big change, going from high school basketball to college basketball. Now that you've got that entire first year of Division I college basketball under your belt at Nebraska, talk about some of the things that you've learned in that first year at Nebraska, and maybe some of the things that you feel like you've improved on your game and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot, just the difference in high school basketball, especially, 1A basketball versus basketball in the Big Ten. There's a big gap there. So I just think learning to trust myself, and my basketball IQ has grown so much, and just figuring out, what my best spots are and where I'm comfortable, and just being able to emphasize that and kind of do everything I can to help my team. This year was a year of just learning and growth for, I think, a lot of us. We went through a lot of adversity, so I think we really became more resilient through it. But yeah, this was just a great year of just learning and new experiences, and it was so much fun, and I'm carrying a lot of that into year 2. And I'm just super thankful for my experience that I had this past season.
It just seems like that Nebraska is such a good fit for you, Amiah, and apparently all of you girls must get along so well. You must be like a close-knit family. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that there's anybody from Nebraska, from your basketball team this year, that's entered the transfer portal, right?
No, yeah, we were one of, I think less than 40 schools that didn't have anyone enter the portal.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that really just speaks to our coaching staff and the values they instill into us and the values that we carry ourselves as young women, and just how tight we are, like you said. I mean, those girls are my best friends. They're my sisters. And even the seniors that we left, I'm having a hard time letting them go, and I've only known them for about a year.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect to form such deep connections so quickly. But I'm so thankful, and I couldn't ask for a better family over there.
Now, there's a couple of new freshmen that'll be coming in this year, no doubt, since you've had girls graduate, and I think maybe you might have picked up a player or two from the transfer portal. Have you had a chance to meet any of the new players yet?
Yeah, so we've got 4 transfers coming in and then 1 freshman. I've gotten to meet all of them on their visits. Great people. They'll fit in great with us in our program. I'm really excited. They'll be here in just a few weeks, I guess, now. But yeah, I'm super excited. They're great pieces to help us, towards that end goal of making a deep run in the NCAA tournament. So it's going to be really exciting.
And your role is going to be a little bit different because now you're not the freshman, you're a sophomore, and so you're going to have some freshmen coming in, and they're going to be having to learn the ropes, learn the culture, the work ethic, all that sort of thing. And so you're going to play kind of a little bit of a role of kind of helping to help them along a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that just because I know that my older teammates were so great to me last year. So I'm excited to kind of step into that role for someone else and be a helping hand, someone they can look to, especially, just having gone through it this past year. Because it's a pretty big adjustment, from high school, no matter what level you play, just being away from home. And like I said, when coming to Nebraska, you've already got 15 sisters built in already, and that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm just really excited to, be that helping hand to our newbies.
How exciting was it for you and your family, for that matter, to make it to the NCAA tournament your very first year of Division I college basketball in Nebraska? That had to be so exciting.
Yeah, it was so exciting. And Selection Sunday, just being with my team and everyone who supports us, just being able to watch our name come up on that screen, there's no better feeling. And, stepping out onto that floor wearing the NCAA patch, it's truly an honor and a huge blessing. And to be able to do it in my first year, and hopefully we make it all 4 years, make a deep run and compete. It's so exciting and so much to look forward to. And my parents got to come, my grandma and grandpa got to come all the way down to Texas, so I was really excited they got to be there with me. But yeah, it was just a great experience, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah. And what have you been majoring in at Nebraska?
I'm majoring in marine biology, so I'm in a lot of the science classes right now, chemistry, bio, so it's been a lot of that.
So I'm sure a lot of people at home are wondering, how in the world do you balance all the time that you have playing basketball, practicing, game film, not only the practices but also the weightlifting, the workouts, you name it, the scouting reports. How do you balance all of that with your studies?
Yeah, our coaches are great. We have a ton of resources there to help us, when we need it. But I think creating a schedule is really important. I kind of, before I was like, yeah, I know it's going to be hard, but you go into it not really knowing what to expect. And it's definitely a challenge. We were gone for a week for the Big Ten tournament right in the heat of, the semester this past spring, and so yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and you just have to really set aside time to complete your studies, get your homework done, and plan around your practice schedule. And it's great they give us our schedules however far in advance, so you have to schedule exams and move around things, but it's tough, but it's doable. We all do it, and it's fun, but I think just everything, our coaches like to tell us, everything good is on the other side of hard, everything worth having. So you just knowing that you're not doing it alone too, and we have people to reach out and sisters to lean on, so that makes it easier. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but a lot of growth comes from it. So
that's wonderful. Well, you had a lot of both girls and boys show up today to participate in your camp, and if there's one thing that you could to tell everybody again, that if they have aspirations of playing basketball, maybe at a higher level, even if they're only in junior junior high or grade school right now, what are some of the important tips that you would give them right now? Would it be their work ethic? Would it be, being a good coachable teammate, or all of the above, or what?
Yeah, I would say definitely being coachable and being a great teammate. Those are just two important things, not only in sports but in life. I think just being able to adjust and just trusting the process. It's a slow. It's not. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I think really just trusting your process and relying on your people and your support system, and never being afraid to ask for help if you need it. I would say just really stay grounded and trust the process. It's a grind. Like I said, nothing worth having comes easy. So just really fall in love with the process, and it'll take you far.
Well, and today you were working on a lot of the fundamentals, particularly being able to dribble with both hands, and that's something that a lot of people take for granted, but it's so important to be able to do.
Yeah, it is. I think it just makes you more versatile and more of a threat. Our scouting reports, a lot of times it's like, she only goes left. Well, if you can cut off their left hand, that's hard what else they can do. So yeah, I think just being able to be a threat from wherever you are and do whatever is super important.
So what's next for Amiah Hargrove after this camp? Are you back to Nebraska and start doing summer workouts with the team? Is that what's next?
Yep, I'm home for about another week, and then we go back to Nebraska for to start our summer workouts. We're there for about a month, and then we get a week off, back at it for a month, and then off for about 2 weeks, and we start the semester and right back into official practice. So yeah, we'll be heading back here and soon for summer workouts. Get back to it.
Well, I think I can speak for just about everybody in Southern Illinois that we've enjoyed watching you play your first year. We look forward to see what you do your second year, Amiah. So it's been a lot of fun, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.